Alright, what's good with y'all? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to compile Super Mario 64 for the PC official port, where you can experience Render 96 in the best performance and experience possible. So we're going to hop straight into it. Let's go and get started. So the first things that you're going to need to do is we're going to be following this guide, and the first thing is to install MSys2. Now, one of the biggest mistakes people make is they download an outdated version by clicking on this link here since it says Windows 8 Plus, but this is a specific version. Always go with this link here. This will take you to the latest installer, which looks like this. I already have it open. And so what you're going to want to do is download the latest .exe. As you can see, for me, it had its last edit 10 hours ago, which means that this is up to date. So we're going to download this. You're going to go to your downloads and you're going to install it. So you're going to run it. It'll say when it's protected your PC. This is legit. Go ahead and run it. And you're going to go ahead and hit next. Do not change this directory as that'll just make things complicated. Just roll with defaults here. So you're going to hit next, next, and you're going to let it do its thing. Okay, once it's done, you're going to go ahead and untick this and you're going to hit finish. Now, I know the instructions say uncheck it after it's finished. Even if you do run it after and not uncheck it, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. It's just you don't need to run the application. That's all they're trying to tell you here, okay? So now that this is installed, we can close this out. The next step is to install SM64 PC Builder 2. So you're going to download it here. You're going to open the website, and you're going to click this download here button like this. Okay, so now that it's downloaded, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your downloads. I have two of them open. Oops. And you're going to go ahead and put it in a folder of its own, and you can move it to a separate drive. It doesn't have to be on your system drive. For me, I'm going to put it in my emulation mods Render 96 folder in here. So we're going to drag and drop, copy it over, and then we're going to extract it to a folder of its own. I use 7-zip for extraction. The next thing, so it says extract it here, and then it says to open it. So now we're going to open it like this. Okay. Now, you're going to be greeted with this interface. Now, for me, I didn't get the prompt up for like, oh, would you like to do a scan or whatever? And that's because I've done this before. However, for you, you want to say yes to that. So if it asks you, hey, would you like to scan your MSys directory or whatever, say yes to it to make sure everything's insured. So now we are on step 4. So it says, ensure these options are selected. On the source page, select Render 96EX, so source, Render 96. If you click it, okay, never mind, it's not doing it for me. Sometimes it'll tell you, congratulations, you have a supported GPU or whatever. So then it says Brancher Tester RT64 Alpha. Now, after doing days of experimentation, I can tell you guys that there are some little minor issues with this version, and in my honest opinion, you can experience this game in an amazing way with the tester. You won't have ray tracing, but trust me when I say this, it is a much better build to go with, okay? So, I'm going to go with the tester build for this video. Don't use master as it's outdated as it tells you. So only stick with either tester or RT64 alpha. If you do choose to go with RT64 alpha and you want to experiment with ray tracing, you might run into some graphical issues. For example, when I was using it, the switches, the base of the switches were supposed to be reflections, but they had like these weird black lines on it. So that's an example of an issue I ran into, but with tester, I don't have those issues. So that's why I'm going to choose tester. For the best performance, I'd recommend rolling with this one, as this is in its early alpha stage, whereas tester is a little more bug-free in my opinion. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to options, savable options, and you're going to select RT64, but like I just said, ray tracing is very experimental, and if you want the best performance, in my opinion, choose OpenGL. I'm going to choose OpenGL for this video. Okay, so I'm going to go and choose this one. And then it says check download only latest changes repo. So you're going to go to download only latest changes. You're going to check repo. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to secure a copy of Super Mario 64. Of course, for legal reasons, I can't tell you guys, you know, how to get that or whatever. You're going to have to dump your own game. But once you have it, it will look like this. I think it's on my desktop. if I put it here, there it is. Yeah, so it should look like this. It doesn't have to have this exact same file name. It doesn't have to have the U or exclamation mark. It could be Super Mario 64.z64. It doesn't have to have these. Now, if it's in .n64 or .v64, it's best to convert it, and the way you do that is like this. You say something like n64 to z64, and you're going to use this hack64 tool where you browse the file, choose the .v64 or .n64, and then you'll convert it and then download that. So that's what you want to have. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to hit download. So you're going to go back to source, because if we were anywhere else like we were here for a second ago, you want to go to source and you want to hit download, and it'll create a custom repo called Render96EX Tester. So you're going to go ahead and hit download. Now, right here, it says click OK to install the missing dependencies. These are super important as you do need them, so hit OK and go ahead and let it install the missing dependencies. If you guys get that prompt, obviously say yes to it. So we're going to wait till this is done. Okay, so now that it's done, I want to say one more thing. So in the steps, it says hit download, and then it says select your ROM. I didn't need to do that, and that's again because I've built the game before, I've compiled it, so it knows that directory. But essentially, if it were to ask you to select your ROM, it would bring up a prompt window, and then you would, of course, obviously select this file, and that's how you would do that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to step 6. And it says to navigate to the models packs. So you're going to go to models here, and you're going to make sure you're on pack. Don't choose Mario, otherwise you're only downloading the Mario one. So go to pack, and you're going to choose Render 96, and then you're going to click install DNOS packs like this. Okay, so now that that's done, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to levels. Now, this is optional, but obviously if you have been paying attention to the Render96 YouTube channel, they showed off showcases of the new rendered levels, and in my opinion, they look amazing and they look very, very good. However, it is up to you. Obviously, these aren't all the levels, but if you want to experiment with them, you can, and all you have to do basically is just check, all of these, and you're good to go. So for the sake of the video, I'll go ahead and I'll do it so I could show you guys. And after you've chosen the levels, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to patches. And these are optional, but if you want these patches, you can. So if I want to have a debug level selector, or if I want to have nonstop mode, I can choose those. Or I can add a custom patch, but I'm not going to use any patches. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to textures, and we're going to install either Render 96 HD or Render 96 HD B-side. I'm going to go ahead and go with Render 96 HD, so you're going to hit download. Okay, now one thing I do want to mention about the Render 96 HD texture pack, it's super important. If you did decide to use the tester RT64 alpha branch of Render 96 EX, there's something I have to tell you guys. In textures, if you were to use Render 96 HD, you would see that it would install Render 96 HD DDS. That's the branch it grabs. Now for me personally, when I did that with this branch, for some reason, it would render all the textures except the character's life count icons. So for example, in the top left, you have Mario's life icon. That would still be rendered in pixels for me. It wouldn't actually be HD. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't use this one, is because I have that issue. But with Tester, I don't have that issue at all. So now that the texture pack is installed, the next thing we're going to do is head to Overview. And we're going to go ahead and check everything and make sure that we're good. And then we're going to hit compile. Now, when you look at the overview, I want to go ahead and make some things very clear really quick. So if you notice conversions, don't worry about those. We're not doing any conversions. But for models, you'll notice that, they're not appearing. I thought we installed these models. Why aren't they showing up? Well, that's because we installed them. If we were to check this box, they would appear here. But since we actually installed them, even though they're not showing up here, we actually have them. So it's okay. Now, before you hit compile, what's very important is this build speed, okay? You're going to have to experiment with this, but for me personally, I experience issues when I am on normal build speed. What happens when I do this is sometimes I'll run into an error where it didn't compile correctly, or or something along those lines. But for me, slow is what works for me. You're gonna have to experiment with yourself. I would recommend starting off with normal first. I think going faster ultra is not really a good idea. If you're gonna compile the game, I would recommend only one of either these two speeds. So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and compile the game with a slow speed, and we're going to hit compile. Okay, and we're back, and as you can see, it says congratulations, it's done. You know, build speed low or slow, compiled in 12 minutes and 19 seconds. So that's how long it took. Now, when you hit OK, it will go ahead and launch the game. But yeah, the way you know it compiled correctly is if you see that rainbow text. Um, but if you ran into errors or anything, then you'll see red, obviously. But if you followed all the steps exactly like I did, you shouldn't really run into issues. And again, if you do, what you can do is you can head into the official Render96 Discord, and they have a link to get to PC Port Central, where you could go ahead and go to the help desk and you can create a post if you have further issues. But since we're good, we're going to go ahead and hit OK, and it's going to go ahead and launch the game. So let's go and wait for this to load. And of course it will take a second. It'll look like it's not working. That's just because, you know, it's initializing everything. So give it a minute or so, and then it'll load. I'm using a PS4 controller, by the way, for this, so I already have it plugged in. So we're just going to give it a minute. And there it is. So we're going to go ahead and hit start. And I'm going to go ahead and load up this file right here. And there we go. Now, when you first load it, go ahead and press pause. Press the crouch button, which is this, and then you'll go into DNOS menu, and you're going to go to model packs, and you're going to make sure that all of these are enabled. Because what will happen is all of these will be enabled, I think, but not these. And if these aren't enabled, you're going to run into like trees that have that, you know, this shape. So if you want that 3D shape, go to model packs and enable it, and now it's going to look great. And as you can see, everything looks so good. The HUD is great, and Mario's life icon is rendered in that HD with OpenGL. So that is pretty much all there's to it. So you go to model packs, and here's all of these. If you press R, you'll go to game. They say on the guide, it says right here, once the game is open, enable all of these right here. And then it says press the camera switch button, go to game, disable billboards, which is right here. So disable billboards is enabled. Press the punch button, select display. And it says right here, enable 60 FPS. Both optional, but obviously, of course, you're going to want to. And so I have 60 FPS enabled, and this is the results. So as you guys can see, it is great performance. Everything looks very, very good. And that's essentially all there is to it. So you have access to a lot of things with this build. You can go to options, you can go to cheats, and I actually have a cheat enabled right now where I moon jump. So you can do that by going to cheats, enable cheats, classic, moon jump, or you can do something really cool where you can go to time space, BLJ anywhere. And so now, as you could probably imagine, you can backwards long jump anywhere. So there's just really cool features like that. So I'm going to go and turn them off though. But that is it. Now you have a fully compiled Super Mario 64 running in the highest quality with the best models, and we're using the OpenGL renderer. Now, we're going to head to the castle here because I want to show you guys something really quick. So, I am actually going to turn down the music a little bit. Give me a second. Okay, so it is muted, but anyways, right in here, if you do have ray tracing on, the doorknob handle right here will be reflective as well as the star icon above it. But like I said, in my honest opinion, the ray tracing is still very experimental, as you will run into issues. But this is still a great way to experience the game, in my honest opinion. So I think OpenGL really is the way for now until the ray tracing gets a little better. And if we head into Bob-omb Battlefield here, as you can see, the stars they have a much better model. And if we load in, here's the new Bob-omb Battlefield that we checked in the list earlier. So now we can experience this. And we could also experience all the other ones, Jolly Roger Bay, etc. And something that's really cool is you can go to exit level. And I will actually turn the volume up just a little bit. I'll have it at like 25. So what's cool is you can actually warp there. So you can go warp to castle, and you can go to Jolly Roger Bay, warp, and now we're in front of the painting. Go inside, and here's the new Jolly Roger Bay. And as you can see, it just looks so beautiful. And ray tracing, if you are using the ray tracing branch, the water would look pretty realistic. But in my honest opinion, remember, like I said, you are going to run into some issues with some of the rendering, but this still looks so beautiful and wonderful. So this is pretty much it. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it with this guide. If you followed all the instructions correctly, you should run it. You should not have that many issues. And like I said, if you do have any more issues, go ahead and head into the official Discord, go to help desk. Here's the frequently asked questions, by the way, and you can go to the help desk questions, create a post here, or just in the official Render 96 Discord, you can go to general, ask your questions, go from there. Also, if you want a full screen, if you do Alt Enter, that doesn't work. What you actually have to do is go to Options, Display, and Full Screen, and then hit Apply, and now we're in full screen. So that's how you go into full screen. And then if you want to exit, obviously you just do the reverse. So Display, you would turn it off, hit Apply, and go from there. And then if you want to quit the game, you go to Options and Exit Game. And that's all there is to it. And if you followed all of it correctly, it'll create a shortcut on your desktop like this. And that is all there is to it. So that is how you compile the game with the best performance. The main takeaways I do want you guys to know are, like I said, let's actually go back to it and let me load up the builder. The key point I want you guys to know is Tester RT64 Alpha. I'm not trying to spread hate on it or anything like that. It's just I ran into a few issues with it, and for the best performance possible, I would just recommend Tester Branch along with the OpenGL Render API. But you can experiment. You can do both, and if you do, it'll create a separate directory. As you can see, it'll create a repo folder named RT64 Alpha. So you can do your testing by on your own, but that is essentially how you use the tool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give a like if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel for more future content. And that's all there is to it. Take care.